The containment chamber aboard the Dominion warship Oblivion Spear was not built for comfort. It was built for collapse. The walls were constructed from a dense obsidian alloy that absorbed light and sound, leaving prisoners feeling isolated inside a void. Thin lines of pale violet energy ran through the floor and ceiling like veins, generating subtle gravitational distortions that caused most species to experience dizziness and disorientation. To make matters worse, the air itself carried a carefully engineered compound designed to trigger fear responses in almost every known sentient nervous system. It was not torture. Not technically, it simply allowed fear to do the work, Commander. Alira Voss had overseen interrogations in this chamber for nearly 8 years. During that time, she had watched pirates, soldiers, diplomats, and even entire rebel commanders crumble into trembling wrecks within minutes of entering the room. Some screamed, some begged, some lost consciousness entirely. Fear was universal, except today. Today, the human sat quietly in the restraint chair, as if he were waiting for a delayed train. Alira studied the readings on the floating display beside her. Heart rate, stable. Stress hormones, slightly elevated, but well within normal range. Neural activity, calm. She frowned. That should not have been possible. The prisoner's name was Lieutenant Adrian Cole, navigation officer from the Terran exploration vessel Pathfinder. The Dominion fleet had ambushed the ship 3 hours earlier near the outer rim of the Karsus Nebula. Most of the crew had fought fiercely before being overwhelmed. Several were already dead. Others were currently being interrogated elsewhere on the ship. But Cole had not spoken a word since he was brought into the chamber. He had simply watched, observed, waited. Alira stepped forward slowly, her tall silhouette casting a long shadow across the floor. "You understand where you are, human." Cole looked up. "I'm guessing this isn't the hospitality suite." Lyra ignored the comment. This chamber induces psychological stress through multiple neurological triggers. No species in the Dominion database can resist it indefinitely. Cole nodded thoughtfully. "Good to know." Lyra narrowed her eyes. "You do not appear distressed, should I?" "You are a prisoner aboard an enemy warship." "Yeah," Cole said casually. "That part I figured out." Lyra circled him slowly. The human's calmness irritated her. "Your species is known to experience fear responses similar to other mammals," she said. "That's true. Your heart rate indicates awareness of danger. It's also true." She stopped directly in front of him. "Then explain something to me." Cole raised an eyebrow. "Sure. Why are you not afraid?" For several seconds, the human said nothing. Then he smiled faintly. "Well," he said, "that's a complicated question." Alira crossed her arms. "You have time." Cole glanced around the chamber. "You designed this room to break people?" "Yes. And it usually works. Always." Cole nodded slowly. "Let me ask you something first. You are not in a position to ask questions." "Probably not," Cole admitted, "but humor me." Alira considered for a moment. Then she gestured slightly. "Proceed." Cole leaned back in the restraint chair. "What do you know about Earth?" Alira activated a holographic data screen. "Planetary classification. Death World Category 8. Cole smiled. "That sounds dramatic. Your world possesses extreme environmental instability, seismic activity, violent weather systems, high gravity, and aggressive native life forms." "Pretty accurate. You also survived multiple extinction events." Cole nodded. "Yep." Lyra continued scanning the file. "Your species achieved technological advancement unusually quickly. Humans tend to move fast. But your historical records show extraordinary levels of internal conflict." Cole laughed quietly. "That's one way to put it. Your species engaged in thousands of armed conflicts before achieving interplanetary travel, closer to tens of thousands." Alira looked up from the display. "That seems inefficient." Cole tilted his head. "Depends on your perspective. War wastes resources and lives." "True," Cole said. "But it also teaches lessons." Alira frowned. "What lessons?" Cole's expression changed slightly, the kind you only learn when survival is on the line. He leaned forward slightly. "You see, Commander, most intelligent species in the galaxy evolved in relatively stable ecosystems. That is correct, humans didn't." Cole glanced toward the chamber wall. "On Earth, Everything wants to kill something else. Predators, diseases, natural disasters, even the environment itself. He shrugged. So humans grew up surrounded by danger. Alira said nothing. Cole continued. We were prey animals once, physically weaker than most predators, slower, less armored. So we developed something else. And that is, Cole tapped his temple lightly. Adaptation, strategy, and fear. Alira studied him carefully. Fear. Cole nodded. Double quotes, fear kept us alive. It made us cautious, made us prepare, made us imagine worst-case scenarios. He gestured toward the chamber around them. You built this place to trigger fear. Yes, and it probably works great on species that never had to evolve under constant threat. Alira felt a faint irritation rising. You still have not answered my question. Cole smiled again. You're right. She leaned closer. Why are you not afraid? Cole's eyes met hers calmly. Because I know something you don't. Alira's gaze hardened. And what is that? Cole glanced at the ceiling as if checking the time. How long ago did your fleet attack our ship? 3 hours, right? Cole nodded. That's about when the distress beacon activated. Alira's expression did not change. All communications were jammed. Yeah, Cole said. We figured you'd try that. You believe your people will rescue you? Cole shrugged. They already did. Alira stared at him. That is impossible. Before Cole could respond, the warship trembled. Just slightly. Alira froze. Then it happened again. This time stronger. A distant alarm echoed through the corridor outside the chamber. Cole smiled. Right on schedule. The chamber door slid open suddenly as an officer rushed inside. Commander, what is it? Multiple unidentified vessels just exited hyperspace. Alira turned sharply. How many? The officer hesitated. 32. Her eyes widened. That's impossible. They appeared inside the outer defense perimeter. Another tremor rocked the ship. The officer's voice dropped. They've already disabled 4 cruisers. Alira slowly turned back toward Cole. You warned them. Cole shook his head. Nope. Then how did they find you? Cole chuckled. You really don't know much. About humans? Do you? Sighed the ship. Distant explosions flickered across the void. Cole leaned back calmly. You see, Commander, humans have a habit. What habit? We don't abandon our own. The officer beside her spoke again. They're broadcasting on all frequencies. Show me. The wall display flickered to life. A human admiral appeared on screen. This is Admiral Sarah Delgado of the Terran Defense Fleet. Her voice was calm, but cold. You are currently surrounded. Surrender your vessel and release all human prisoners immediately, Lyra whispered softly. How did they get here so fast? Cole shrugged. Fear. Lyra turned toward him. What? Cole smiled. Humans are afraid of losing each other, and when humans are afraid... He glanced toward the screen showing Terran warships surrounding the Dominion fleet. We move very, very quickly. Another explosion shook the ship. Emergency lights flashed. Cole looked back at Alira. You asked why humans feel no fear? She said nothing. Cole's smile widened slightly. That's not the right question. What is? Cole's voice dropped to a quiet whisper. The real question is, what happens when humans are afraid for someone else? Outside the warship, the Terran fleet powered its weapons, and for the first time in her career, Commander Alira Voss felt something cold run through her veins.